This weirdo twist is actually affecting the game a lot more than I thought it would. We now know who is most likely to re-enter the game, and they might just blow everything up. There is so much to talk about today, including the house dynamics, which are constantly shifting. But first, if you have not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button below just so you can stay tuned, as I will be doing these lovely recaps all season long. And if you missed it, make sure you check out my last video too, because it's going to set up a lot of important context for this video. Now, let's get started. So when we last left off, the game was essentially at a standstill. Cameron and Jared were still in the game playing as zombies, but they were competing against each other for their spot back. First, they have to get through the first challenge, and whoever wins that will choose which one of them will get to compete in the big battle back competition on Thursday. Now, most of the house guests do prefer that Cameron stay over Jared, so throughout the day, they're going to encourage him a lot more and even give him a few tips for the comp. And sure enough, when the feeds return back after that competition is done, we see that Cameron has won. Now he's going to get to choose if it's going to be him or Jared doing the solo competition live on Thursday. Now, Cameron knows that his comp abilities are pretty high, so he's likely going to choose himself to play. If he wins, then he gets to re-enter the game, but if he loses, then Jared gets to re-enter. Now, even though we don't know what that solo comp is going to be right now, I'd still say that there's a pretty decent chance that Cameron is going to win regardless. He is more determined now than ever, and like him or not, he is one of the best competitors in the house. Jared recognizes this and is starting to sulk a little bit because he knows that his game is likely over.
I don't feel like I need to play the game no more. I'm just like, that's what we were saying there. They like, yo, you can't give up. I'm like, bro, I ain't giving up, but it's just like, my life in here solely depends on somebody losing. It's not like I can have a conversation to change that. It's not like I can do anything that'll change that.
So with Cameron likely staying this week, he's going to immediately get back up to start working on his game. He first goes up to Cirie, who he knows is alone now that her game has pretty much been exposed. He's telling her all about how he doesn't have any allies and how he wants to work with her. His plan is to get close to the other side of the house to secretly infiltrate and blow up their alliance.
But I wanted to tell you before anything is talked about with anyone. I know what that group is. And if you can sense me getting in with that group, I hope you know why. If I get in with them, I'm gonna bust that motherfucker from the middle.
I ain't saying nothing.
I think Cameron does a pretty good job in this conversation overall. He is probably better off teaming up with Cirie than that larger side of the house, because he would be on the very bottom of that side and they'd probably just evict him immediately anyway. It's not like Cirie has any options if Jared's gone either. So for now, she's down to work with Cam, which sounds totally random, but hey. That's the game. See, at first I was skeptical about trusting Cameron and this proposal, but he seems to follow it right up. After talking to Cirie, Cameron is going to immediately go up to Matt to have a game chat. They're talking about future plans, who they trust and don't trust, you know, the usual. In this conversation though, Cameron is trying his best to paint Cory and America as his prime targets.
I don't give a fuck who goes on the block. But if the two of them are sitting on the block, that's money in the bank.
Jared's gone, Blue's gonna have to come.
They're gonna lose their
They
shit.
need someone, yeah.
America and Cory have to be busted.
They have to be what?
Busted.
Busted.
At some point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying right now.
No, yeah.
You're working with them. You know I wouldn't dare say a word.
See, Matt knows that once the outcasts are out of the way, Cory and America are his next biggest ops. So Matt is actually super excited about working with Cameron, and he's even more excited to bring his buddy Jag in.
If we take Cam out, then they're going to try to take us out.
Exactly.
But if me, you, Cam stick together?
That's what I'm saying.
Bro,
me and Cam
if
were
me, you,
laughing.
and
Me and Cam were
Cam
like, bro, he's like,
together.
America's watching. He's like, imagine us three together. Guess what? You won so many. He's won many. I've won many now. And it's like us three. He's like, we can do this back and back.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. As far as competitions go, this is the dream team right here. In the end game, competition wins are way more valuable, so these three working together could be a force. But I still get the feeling that Cameron knows that he's gonna need these two out of the game to have his best shot at winning. I mean, Matt would probably beat anybody he sits next to in the final two as it stands right now. Eventually, Blue joins in on this conversation later on, and suddenly it's looking like that old handful alliance is back together.
Is this the handful without the fucking pinky? The fucking pinky is cut off? We're fucking looking around more than halfway through the game. We started off saying this was going to be the squad. And then now fucking 50, however many days later, we come back together and we're like, guys,
we're a TV show of a couple that broke up 4 times.
I gotta admit, sometimes it is super hard to tell whose side Cameron is really on. But ultimately, let's be honest, Cameron is on his own side.
They know that they can't come to me and be like, oh, good job, baby, what's up, okay.
Yeah, well...
Listen, what do you want to do next? No, fuck off.
Okay.
Get the fuck out of my face.
The mamas are going to be the 2 people that are going to be the biggest bullshitters when they come to your face.
I knew that.
They're going to say everything. 100%. They've thrown everyone under the bus. They've lied about everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess we'll just have to keep an eye out to how Cameron navigates throughout the next couple days. In the meantime, there are still a lot of other moving parts happening with the other house guests as well. Felicia and America are going to have the most random game chat ever. They start off with general gossiping about the game, but eventually they move on to talking about who they can trust and who they can't. America says she only really trusts Cory. Felicia says she only really trusts Mimi. And after a while, Felicia is going to propose a final 4.
And I'm gonna see him. Mimi, you and Cory. We're gonna do a final 4. Nobody can know about this final 4. Absolutely. Like, that's how I've been playing. Like, nobody can know about this. I've been trying to find people that I can really trust.
At first, I was really unsure about the legitimacy of this whole deal. After all, Felicia was really into the idea of keeping the Brown Sugar Babes together a couple days ago. But since then, the alliance has been exposed and blown up by Cory, so she's probably thinking that it really won't get her anywhere now. Now it's just her and Mimi versus the world.
Saying this between me and you, I think Cirie is one of the biggest threats in this house because she holds a lot of conversations and she twists a lot of stories. She feeds a lot of uncertainty into everyone, and nobody's ever able to fully work together and stay together because of it.
Meanwhile, Cirie and Blue are also starting to work together a lot more. Blue is trying to be upfront and honest and open up to Cirie as to why she was playing both sides of the house. She's saying that her real loyalty has been with Jared the whole time, which isn't really true, but it's probably the best thing for her to say right now.
And so I looked at Cory in America and I was like, listen, like, I know Jared's the target and that's fine by me, but I'm telling y'all right now that I cannot target Jared and Cirie. And that's for my game, and that's, like, you have to understand.
At first, I wasn't sure where Blue really stood in the game. She did seem completely done with Cory after he put her on the block, but she also was informed that some people, including Cirie, were trying to get her evicted over Jared.
Wait, how are your conversations going with them? Because them motherfuckers were actively trying to vote you out.
I mean, have you talked to Bowie? Mm-mm. She said it was Jared, Cirie,
Felicia
and Mimi who came up to him
in the bathroom
all at once and said,
and, like,
we have 3, you're the deciding.
She doesn't seem to care that much about the vote, though. I mean, she initially just brushes it off. Plus, she knows that Cirie is Jared's mom, so she can't really be mad at Cirie for choosing Jared over her. Blue does continue to play both sides of the house, but I think she's sticking with Jared for right now, at least. Because by the end of the night, she is spilling everybody's secrets to him.
Cory said he's going to put up Cirie and Felicia. America said Mimi and Felicia, because initially she said Cirie. And so, like, I made my pitch about why, like, I'm like, girl, Cirie and Felicia really aren't, like, my thing. Like, I'd much rather get Mimi out.
So overall, that's where things stand during this weirdo week. People are mostly just trying to readjust to the idea of Cameron coming back in the game. There are no more competitions planned as of right now, so things may be at a standstill until Thursday. So of course, I want to know, what do you all think of this weird twist in the house? Are you loving it or are you hating it? Let me know in the comments below. I kind of wish they would do more fun comps that aren't game related during the slower times like this. Whether it's a have-not comp or a grocery comp or a luxury comp or something. It may just get a little bland watching this week with nobody having any power in the game. Once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below if you have not already, just so you can stay tuned throughout the season. And of course, I will be back to update you all if anything else big changes, but until next time, bye.